and welcome back to the Sesh. I'm Kendall Ray.
And I'm Janelle. Thanks for joining us again for another Therapy Sesh.
Ooh,
this is our second Therapy Sesh. We did one a few months back about like getting older, aging, the process of...
Yeah, and we're kind of doing the same thing today. I just realized as you said that.
I was like, interesting. But that was more like reincarnation, life after death, losing people.
That was more around death.
Yeah, it was more around death. This is more around like coming into, well, we're both in our late 20s. And so we're, kind of coming into some newer like milestones, I guess, of life soon. And we just kind of want to talk about it. And we thought it'd be an interesting topic. And
it's something that we've been talking about a lot just in our personal lives with each other, how weird it is and kind of what we're each experiencing as we're heading into different chapters of our lives. And we just thought it'd be kind of fun to share that with some of you who might be around the same, age as us or a little younger than us looking forward or a little older than us that can kind of, maybe give us some advice going forward.
No, for real. Yeah. Because I feel like we have all these opinions now of how we think we feel and how we think we will feel, but we don't fucking know.
I know. And if we watch this in 5 years, imagine how different everything
we could be laughing at ourselves. We probably will be. But yeah, we're excited for it. And we just felt like it was a good time to kind of open up a little bit.
Yeah. And we need to have an emotional therapy sesh is what we like to call these. But also we are not doing therapy in any way.
Yeah, no, we are not giving therapy. We are not providing you therapy.
No, it's just a fun name.
It's just a fun name for this. Yeah, exactly. For the series. We like to have little categories for our episodes. We do. But we do have spicy topics. But before we have one big spicy topic. But before that, we have something that we kind of want to talk about from our last episode. We were going over the Mandela effect, if you aren't aware, which is, if you don't know what it is, just check out our last episode. But one of the things that we were doing was reading your guys' Mandela effects. And on Twitter, someone said that they had thought Larry King already died. And when we had filmed the episode, he was alive.
Yeah. I literally said he's very much alive.
Yeah.
And we're going to be recording our episodes a little closer to upload in the future. That's what we're working towards right now. But we have been recording almost a week before they go up. So sometimes we're, like we said last episode, it's kind of ironic that we're like, so much happens. Who knows what's going to happen this week? And then that happens. When we had said it in the episode, it was so strange. And so that was obviously our most popular comment was about Larry King and just how weird that was.
So bizarre, because like she said, we filmed it on a Tuesday, posted it on a Sunday, and it was like the day before we posted. I think that Saturday is when the news broke that he had died at age 87 on January 23rd. Yep, Saturday. And the cause of death wasn't stated or anything, but he was hospitalized in late December with COVID, and I guess he's also had other health problems like heart attacks and was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2017. So I don't know exactly what was the cause of his death, but the timing is bizarre.
Yeah, that was definitely made me uncomfortable listening back to myself. I was like, I wish we could cut that out, but it was too late. We already had it up and ready to go. So yeah.
I don't know. It's it's so weird. Because then people were like, oh my gosh, was that person? I can't remember what the term was, but people kept using a term of someone basically kind of foreshadow what was going to happen. And because so many people were like, oh, I agreed, I thought Larry King was dead. I remember him dying.
Said that.
It was a really popular one.
And then people were commenting on the episode saying that when they found out that he did die, that they thought that he had already passed.
Right.
That was kind of odd.
They're like, oh, I thought I already remember watching the news talking about him dying and stuff. And what's crazy is within the last year, he lost 2 of his own kids within weeks of each other.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I'm not sure how they passed, but he lost 2 of his kids within weeks of each other.
Gosh. He's probably had a broken heart too.
And if you're not, aware of who Larry King is, he was a interviewer. He hosted a show on CNN called Larry King Live for 25 years. And he interviewed everyone, so hundreds of people,
celebrities to political figures, everyone all over the board, all types of guests.
Exactly. 6,000 episodes.
That's so much.
Yeah.
Wow. We can
imagine doing that.
What
for
are we
that
on?
long.
What episode are we on?
I don't even know. 23 or something like that. Yeah.
Can you imagine 6,000 episodes? And this is live. we're not live, right? Like being live,
we were just talking about that.
How
like
stressful that is.
Because when you're interviewing people, you have no time for like dead air, as Ethan Klein would say. Like you can't, what if the person you're interviewing is like not interested, or they're shy, or they're scared or whatever, and they don't like, give you much, you have to keep it up.
Yep.
And you can't like cut it out or anything.
No. And if you say something wrong, you can't just be like, oh, I hate how I said that. Right. Can I just back this up, or
cut that out at the end, or whatever?
If you stumble over your words, you can't let it throw you off. You got to get right back on it and move forward.
Yep.
That's really hard to do. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for anyone who does that many live anything.
Me too.
That's so challenging.
Yeah. Yep. And he was such a like non-judgmental. He was such a good listener. I felt like he really, every person that sat down with him, like he really was genuinely curious about their life and stuff. And yeah, so rest in peace to Larry King. It was really bizarre that happened in that timing.
That was definitely weird.
But yeah, we just kind of wanted to bring that up because a lot of people were commenting on it, and I like pinned a comment, but a lot of people don't see that. So.
I know a lot of people don't look at the pinned comment, which makes sense because I mean I don't always look at pinned comments either.
Right? So,
yeah. We just wanted to address that and say that of course that was filmed before he passed away. So yeah, we send our love to his family.
Yeah, definitely. But our actual main spicy topic of the week.
What do we got here? This is crazy.
Okay, this is fucking crazy.
And this is like,
and I feel kind of bad laughing for a second because it's like actually really serious, but also like,
I want to say trigger warning for sure. Yeah. This is upsetting, honestly, what's going on. If you have followed any of this. So I have been following Claudia Conway on TikTok now for a couple months. You guys know I love to dabble on the TikTok. Janelle's you're still not on TikTok?
Nope. Still not on TikTok.
I feel like eventually you just got to give back in.
I've gotten to like low points in the past few weeks where I'm like desperate for like to feel something. So I'm like thinking about downloading TikTok, but I'm like, no.
Well, you should, because I mean, it's so entertaining and you get to see so many different people. And Claudia is one of those people that I never would have thought to follow, but she's a really interesting person. And she's thinks very differently from her mother, Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to say on Kellyanne.
Yeah.
I've got plenty to say about Kellyanne, but we'll just say that she and her daughter are very different. So if you don't know who she is, Kellyanne Conway was a former counselor to Donald Trump.
Yep.
And Kellyanne has a daughter named Claudia who's 16 years old. And her dad is George Conway, who is the co-founder of the Lincoln Project. And so her family's all over the place. They're on completely different sides of the political spectrum, her two parents.
Yeah.
And then Claudia really does not get along with Kellyanne. And she's been posting publicly about this for months now. And it's been fairly like fun and games up until recently. Like,
well, didn't she get her following because she was like basically posting TikToks like trolling Trump basically, and like trolling her mom for working for Trump and stuff like that.
And all kinds of funny stuff. I mean, we'll put in like a few of her kind of laid back gaffe tweets essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, my mother is Kellyanne Conway, senior counsel to the President of the United States. She also was his campaign manager during the 2016 election. So, your point? Believe it or not, you can have your own opinions, not influenced by your parents at all, simply by educating yourself. My views have absolutely nothing to do with my mom's. Please stop commenting about her. Please stop commenting about my dad.
Eventually, she started asking for help over TikTok to get out of her abusive household, but the authorities hadn't gotten involved, probably because her parents are so influential. And she's even posted videos of the police there in the house, and you can tell they kind of take Kellyanne's side no matter what.
Sure.
But she recently posted actual videos of the abuse happening, and she claims to have hours filmed over the last year that she has been in quarantine.
Yeah.
And maybe probably even before that.
Sure.
But of Kellyanne yelling at her, maybe even physically, I mean, looks like it from the videos.
Yeah.
Physically, maybe throwing things at her, pushing her.
Yeah.
And just verbally abusing her to a really toxic level.
Yeah. Really like degrading her and just being really nasty overall. And like, obviously like there's a lot of teens and parents who don't get along, but this is like pretty wild.
It is.
We'll like put in a little clip. Obviously, we're not going to show anything crazy. You can find it pretty easily, but here's something just so you can get an idea.
One fucking bit for you to tell people I'm a bitch.
What?
What?
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
You're
there
mocking
is.
me.
You think I'm mocking you? I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Do you know what you've done to yourself? Do you know what you've done to yourself?
15.
So she edited together like several different clips and says that there's so much more. This is just a glimpse into her life and what it's like living with Kellyanne. And wow, what a difference. And sometimes, you know, when Kelly realizes that she is on the TikTok that she's filming her, she'll put on this whole act and be like, honey, no.
Yeah.
But then to see that just switch, it's just, oh my God, I know so many people can relate to dealing with someone like that and how toxic it can be to live in a household like that at such a young age.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, this is really intense stuff. And this all wasn't up very long because shit hit the fan pretty quick right after she had originally posted these video clips. There were clips of, like I said, the police being there. And then everything came to a head recently when she posted a video on TikTok saying that she was getting tweets that Kellyanne had posted a topless photo of her to her Twitter stories, which is called Twitter Fleet.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was Twitter stories. But she has 3.3 million followers.
on there.
And then Claudia posted another TikTok basically saying, well, if that's true and you really and Kellyanne really did post this, you're going to jail.
Right. Exactly. And then so this was like early. We're filming this on the 27th. This was like a few days ago. And then just like last night, then she actually, this is really interesting. She started posting in Morse code. I think it was on TikTok. Yeah, it was on TikTok. She was posting, and a lot of them were translated to like, please get people to talk about this. Please spread awareness as you know about this because I can't. And so people were really freaked out, like, oh my God, is Kellyanne like literally exposing her 16-year-old daughter online?
Is she really putting up a photo of her child? Is
Right.
she, I mean, you are going to go to jail if that's the case.
Exactly. Yeah. So then the morning after this all happened, Claudia went to TikTok and apologized for like, you know, making this matter public, I guess you could say. And she posted a series of videos explaining what happened and like pleaded fans not to call the authorities or send
just go
hate
ahead
to
and
her
play
family.
it.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play it.
Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here and address the situation. This isn't forced. This is coming completely from me, Claudia. I have faith and I know that my mother would never put something like that on the internet, as well as me. We would never do that. My mom and I, we fight like mothers and daughters, but we also love like mothers and daughters, and I do love her. I will be taking a break from social media because we are really tired of being headlines.
So people have been kind of curious about this, saying, is she being forced to say this? Is there body language that can be further analyzed?
Right.
She had said at one point, I will never delete my social media. So if I do, you know, it's not me. So of course, a lot of people are thinking that there is, but there is a police investigation going on as well. So they could have asked her to take everything down while they investigate. As of right now, when we're recording this episode, it is not clear whether Kellyanne posted that photo or not.
Okay.
It seems that Claudia thinks her mom's account was either hacked or that she accidentally posted it. But she doesn't think she did it on purpose, but it's still being investigated. As of right now, all of Claudia's stuff is taken down, and they're saying that they're going to work on their relationship.
Well, I guess she's been trying to get emancipated since August, like right when she turned 16.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure she has been trying to. And that's a hard process.
Yeah, and I guess yesterday, so like the 26th, the police like showed up at their house, but then they were only there for like an hour. And like you said, the investigation's being conducted. But
well, I hope they really get to the bottom of that, because if she really did post that, that is just about the lowest and most disgusting thing you could ever do.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
I honestly,
Who the fuck?
I would hope that she's not stupid enough to post that. Like, doesn't she know that that is like so fucking stupid and like is like like you're a public figure?
Had to have been like a mistake.
Like there's, I mean, come on.
Still,
I agree.
Just
like it's not an excuse. It's just like, I hope it wasn't on purpose. I'm like, you can't be that fucking stupid.
I know. I have a lot of questions about all this. Like something's fishy, but those videos of her though were so disturbing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
To see the fear in her eyes, like some of those clips.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to show all of them, but
No.
some of them are really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she's not just doing this for attention or to like expose her mom. Like those are real painful moments. She's going through an abusive situation.
And just knowing her like past of like, she's feisty on like regular ass TV.
Yeah.
Like some of this, I'm not like, I've never been a fan of Kellyanne Conway.
No.
So
No.
I mean, this is honestly, I'm like, wow, if she is that way in public on, you know, CNN and whatever, then I can't imagine what she's like to her family behind closed doors, you know?
Yeah. How comfortable is she with lying? Clearly pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
With the fibs.
Right. Exactly. So it's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's bad. And I hope they get to the bottom of it, honestly. 'Cause it's fucking ridiculous.
I do too. And we will put any updates if there's anything else that comes out in between now and the time that this goes up in the pinned comments so that you guys can, look into that further.
Definitely. But before we go ahead and get into our main topic of the day, we want to thank our first sponsor, Apostrophe. All right, guys, so you've heard me talk about Apostrophe before, but if for some reason you haven't, I have got to tell you about it because I'm honestly obsessed with this service. Apostrophe has seriously changed my skin. So prescription acne treatment really does work. I've been on it for almost a year now and I've seen really good results, but I hated going to the actual dermatologist, making an appointment, going into the office, the whole 9 yards. It was a pain. Then I had to, wait in the line at the pharmacy. It's just annoying. But with Apostrophe, you don't have to do that. Apostrophe makes it easy to see a board-certified dermatologist online. You'll get treated immediately and your medications are delivered to your home. Simply fill out Apostrophe's online questionnaire about your skin concerns and medical history, then just take a few pictures and send them to your dermatologist and they will get right back to you with a customized treatment plan tailored just for you. This is the reason why I love it so much. You don't even have to, do video conferencing or anything like that. You literally just send pictures of your skin and then a dermatologist gets on there and makes the treatment plan that is correct for you. They also offer topical and oral medications so that you can make sure you're getting exactly what you need to treat your skin from the inside out and outside in. I think the best thing about this whole service is the fact that it's shipped to your door. It's fast. I got my medication quickly. And also, I was really impressed with the packaging. It was very minimal waste. A lot of it was recyclable, like paper products. So I was really impressed. So get $15 off your first visit with a board certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/sesh and use our code SESH. This code is only available to our listeners. So to get started, go to apostrophe.com/sesh and then click begin visit. Then use the code SESH at sign up and you'll get $15 off your dermatology visit. That's apostrophe apostrophe.com/sesh and use that code SESH to get your dermatology visit for $15 off. And we thank Apostrophe so much for sponsoring this podcast.
Okay, it is time for us to have a deep chat, a therapy sesh.
Chat. Yes, we're here coloring. That means it's getting serious in the studio. Okay,
that is. Well, it doesn't mean much these days. We color a lot. It just helps me focus so much.
Oh yeah, me too. I love it. It's so like therapeutic. I love it.
I know. I love that. I said it in Mile Higher recently, and I got so many comments from people that understood what I was talking about.
Oh,
it made me feel so validated.
100%. I mean, especially our like younger generation's minds, we are so used to having stimuli like everywhere around us. So
it's true.
It's really hard to just literally focus on one thing because our brains are used to processing like a million things at once.
And the next generation is going to be even worse. Our kids.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a challenge.
Our kids. Speaking of our kids.
Speaking of which, yes, we are getting old.
We are.
We've been talking a lot about that lately.
Yeah, we have.
I'm turning 28 in a few months. And for some reason, 28 just sounds
really old for you.
Yeah. Like 27 didn't seem quite as big of a milestone for me. But 28 just in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to like rethink it. I don't know. I just feel like everything. I have to go into my adult mode. That's kind of how I feel like. And I'm getting the like motherly urges. I really am. Like it's a real thing.
All right.
I don't know if anyone else relates to that, but I'm starting to get, I'm sure a lot of people relate to that. But my mom said it happened to her right around 27, 28 too, where she started to feel the urge to be a mom.
That's interesting.
So I'm kind of like going through that right now. And it feels weird because I'm like caught between that and like still thinking I'm 21.
Yeah.
Like mentally, I think I'm
mentally
23 all the time.
Exactly. Mentally, I'm like 23 forever.
Me
you
too.
ask me how old I am, I'm like, oh, 23. I turned 23 3 times, actually. So,
And it does not feel that long ago that we were celebrating our 21st birthdays.
I
Me
remember
and
like it was
Sydney,
yesterday for you guys.
we used to always celebrate our birthdays together in college because we're 2 days apart. Remember our 21st at the bars?
Oh, yeah. That was wild.
I know, it was wild.
You ladies
but-
were so funny.
And that was a long time ago. Like the fact that it's going to be 7 years ago.
That's crazy.
Right?
Wow.
I
No,
know.
I feel old.
Right?
Like we're almost 30.
I
Not that
know.
that's old.
But I know people
I know,
who are 30
like,
are
yeah.
like, wow. No, I
feel
totally
like
get that though.
It's all relevant.
It's all relative.
Everyone,
Yes,
relative. Yes,
I
that's
agree.
the word I was looking for.
It is, because it's like, right now I look at 30 and I feel like, dang, that's really old. Like when, I don't know, I feel like when I was a kid and I thought of someone who's 30, I thought of like a real adult and they had like all their shit
Yeah.
figured out and they like knew all the answers to everything. And I'm
Right.
realizing like, you will
Right.
never get, I'm kind of over here like, when will I like really be like, oh, I'm now settled and like I am who I am. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the human experience. So we're supposed to be evolving forever. And I think that's kind of tripping me out of like, I'm never going to wake up one day and be like, I'm officially a true adult now and I'm ready to have kids and settle. Like, that's not.
You're not going to wake up one day and feel like that. You'll probably feel like a kid until the day you die.
I hope forever to some degree. Yeah.
We were just talking with Josh's grandmother. She's 92. I didn't get to talk to her. Josh went and talked to her. He just told me about this. And she said she still feels like a kid at heart sometimes.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I think part of you, I think you carry like your past versions of yourself within yourself at all times throughout these different chapters of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it is weird to think about because, I mean, everyone ages. Everyone has gotten older at some point, has had that thought of like, oh, I'm like a little bit is like, it's kind of like sand dripping down
Yes.
in the time
Yes.
thing. It's
No,
just
it
like,
is.
Eventually you're going to have that realization. And no matter when you have that, or at what point, you're going to have that many times.
Right.
It's just like everyone can relate to that feeling of being like, whoa, life is shorter than I thought maybe.
Totally.
And adults don't know as much as I thought. Yeah, I definitely thought I was going to hit that point where I'm like, oh, I'm old and smart now and I know
Right.
everything like my parents did. And then you realize
And
how
then
much
you
your parents
realize-
did not know.
Right. And still are like struggling with and figuring out in their day-to-day lives. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, so no one knows what the fuck's going on ever. That's so comforting.
No one knows.
And
the
I-
human experience is nuts.
It's kind of crazy to think about, and I guess that's the point of it. We're supposed to be changing all the time. But for some reason, when I was a kid, time went so much slower to me. Like, and now I feel like time is going by so fucking fast. I'm like, God, can we just like
I
go
know.
like half speed for a second? Like, can we just like pause for a second?
Yeah, that's really interesting to think about how time just feels like it's going faster the older that you get.
Yeah.
And my parents have told me
Everyone
that
says that
forever, that it's only going to get faster. And once you have kids, then it really speeds up. And I'm like, what? Like the fact that the years are just going by so
They're
fast.
flying.
Like
by.
Christmases are blending together now.
Blending together.
Isn't that so strange? And I think when we were younger and we had the school year to like mark our year and sit there every day you're in school and you're just sitting there looking at your calendar like, oh, how many days till Christmas? How many? And everything feels so far
How about
away.
summer
and
break
long.
feeling like it's like a year long
Right.
when really it's like 2.5 months.
Yeah, if
that.
I know it really would feel.
Yeah,
like
no,
a
not even.
long
Yeah.
time.
I know, right?
And now that's like a blip.
It's crazy to think about how fast time's flying. And I'm like, sometimes I get like weirded out because I'm like, well, is like, cause as time goes on, you sometimes feel pressure from society or from yourself even to be like, well,
Am I supposed to be at a certain point?
Yeah,
right now?
exactly. Like, should I keep, like, do I need to be doing something specific? Should I be in school? Should I be getting married? Should I be having kids? Like, I feel like you're always kind of like debating on like what you should be doing in, as far as like what society says to do. And then it only is getting like crazier as you get older, at least in my opinion. Like, I don't know how to describe it exactly.
No, I think a lot of people relate to what you're saying. There is a lot of pressure that the older that you get, that you're supposed to like be at a certain point, or even at a certain point, like in your career,
Right.
or in your relationship,
Right.
Or maybe, you're still single and enjoying being single, and you feel, and there are people around you that are like, so when are you gonna
Right.
settle down? And you're like, what?
Right.
Like,
maybe there's someone
I'm
who's like,
fine.
there's people who are like, I want to be single forever. And they're like, I want to, and like, yeah, of course, there's always that like, question from society of like, well, when are you gonna? I feel like women especially deal with this, like this pressure of like, are you getting older? Like, it's you're not gonna have forever or whatever. So
right, which biologically we do have that to a degree.
Right.
We don't have forever.
We do not like
if you want to have kids, you can only wait so long.
Right.
So there is like some biological pressure there, and I'm already starting to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, and that's like kind of a stressful situation in itself.
Yep.
Do you guys feel like time went a lot faster when we like left college, or we were like,
yes,
like just after that? I can't really piece together the years. It all just seems like
after college, post college.
Yeah. Like a big clump of just stuff.
100%.
Totally. And it's like you don't really have a marker. This is like the first time where I haven't had, there's like my elementary days, your middle school days, your high school days, your college days. There's like all these little chapters, but now it's just like this limbo where you kind of don't know what's going on. We're just like trying to figure it out stage. And you'd think it would have gone faster, that college would have gone faster because it was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
it did go fast, at least for me. But
since we've left, it's been so fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't believe it's been more time out of college already than I was in college. Like, I was in college for 4 years.
That's crazy.
And it's been, and I remember college, like thinking, God, 4 years, that's so long to be in college. It's like a huge chunk of your life. It was like a blip in my life.
I know. And you wish you could like, go back and realize that how short it was.
Totally.
'Cause now I miss it so much.
Me too. It was so fun. But yeah. And then, obviously all three of us are in long-term relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I think a lot of people who can also relate to the fact of like when you are of like getting these pressures from society and stuff to, get the next step on. Okay, well, you've been dating for a while.
Yeah.
When are you going to get married? When are you going to buy your house? When are you going to have kids?
You've gotten a lot of that.
So much of that.
Probably from me a little bit.
Yeah, actually I have. But so many people
I just love you and John so much.
No, thanks.
I have to like make sure you guys are going to be there forever.
Very emotional. Well, a lot of people are like, I'll tell them that, we've been dating for 9 years, and they're like, oh my God, when's he going to put a ring on it? And it's so funny because it's just like an automatic question that people ask. But in my life, it's like never really been that important to me.
No, it's not been important to you at all. It's not like you're sitting around like, where's my ring?
No, not at all. In fact, truthfully, I think if like anything, I would be more reserved in the party, like between John and I, to like get married than he would. Maybe a little bit, and maybe he would disagree with that. I don't know. That's just kind of like
I could see that.
what I kind of feel. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I feel like, and you can relate to this because you're married.
I have been married since 2016.
I'm sure you've had the when are you having kids question 50 million times.
I was going to say, I never got the like, when are you getting married question? Because we got married, I guess, fairly young.
Right.
Or like fairly quickly.
Right.
Well, we've been together for 6 years when we got married. We've been together 10 years now.
Okay. But how old were you when you got married? 23?
Yeah. And
That's
so no one was
young.
being like, are you guys going to get married? When is he going to pop the question? We didn't get any of that pressure. That was completely on our own time and our own decision, which was nice. But as soon as we got married, the when are you going to have kids question started. And I think a lot of people thought that we were getting married because we wanted to have kids young.
Yes.
Which really wasn't part of it at all for us. I don't really know exactly why we wanted to get married. There was no like real reason. Nothing really changed. We just wanted to get married. It felt like we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. And then we were engaged for a while before we even got married. But there wasn't that like pressure that you're dealing with. And I know you're feeling that pressure too.
Oh yeah. Because
once you start getting older, people start, and when you've been in a relationship for so long and you're out of college, they're like, well, take the next step. This is how
this is what
your story goes.
Exactly. It's wild. That's how like we're programmed as a society to think that. And I understand that, like, depending on your beliefs and your like traditions and your religious beliefs or whatever, like it maybe marriage holds a lot more value to you, and
that's true.
Maybe that is a bigger step for whatever reason, whether that's because you're living together now or because having that's actual ceremony means a lot, or whatever it may be. Maybe it's for legal reasons. Maybe it's because a spouse is in the military. You don't know. So but for me, like, I've lived with John in sophomore year of college. You know, I'm not religious. Like, there's really nothing like that I feel would change that much if I got married.
And it's not like something that you really want that badly. You're like not the type of girl that's been waiting for your wedding day.
No, I've never, when girls talk about like, oh, I've dreamed of the dress I would be wearing on my wedding day. I know exactly what ring I want. I've known forever. Or I know, you know, the style or whatever. Like, I've dreamed of my wedding day since I was a little girl. That's never been me. And sometimes I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like, as a kid, I'd be like,
no, nothing's wrong with
and
you.
Of course, I know that now, but like, it's a little strange because I feel like it is so like common and almost like expected of like the girls to be excited about their wedding and like, and if you are that's great too. Like, dream about your wedding when you're young, like do it, like that's live your life. I just think it's interesting that so many things in society, like it's putting the pressure on the girls because like maybe guys dream about their wedding day when they're younger,
right? Like,
why can't guys be just as involved in the whole process of finding their partner and like the romance of it and this, that, and the other?
Why does it all have to be so one way,
right?
Or so and it's not. I feel like a lot of society has come around with this type of stuff.
Yes,
it's like a group of people that are like clinging on to the traditional life.
Sure.
You know, I mean, if we were going to have this conversation like 20, 30 years ago, it'd look completely different, sound completely different. Things have already changed a lot, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, it still exists. The pressure still exists, all of it. And do you feel like pressured to have a big wedding, even though that's something you're like not that interested in?
Not really. Sometimes I feel it like because I have FOMO and so sometimes I'm like worried that I'll like have FOMO of like having that experience, but like deep down I don't really think it really matters to me. There are so many other things that I would rather do with that money, to be honest. And that's like smart. I said, like it's really not that important to me. Like, honestly, like I would be fine waking up tomorrow and just being like, oh, you're married to John, to be like, oh, okay,
I could see you guys doing that.
Like, we'll just like keep living our lives how we are. Like, that would be great. And, you know, we have like other goals. Like right now, our big goal is like buying a house. Like that's what we're like, we have like our eye on like buying a house, and that's like our big thing. And whereas some people, it's like getting married, moving in, having kids. You know, some people don't care about buying a house at first.
Everyone's priorities look completely different. So.
But I think it's interesting to like, and I would agree, like as society, like as we've grown, I think the stereotypes and expectations are getting more and more loose, and people are less and less traditional with doing the, you know, typical wedding or whatever you're expected to do type of thing. So yeah, I would say that there's definitely like some pressure there still, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think you just want to like still have a celebration and you just like to have fun. You want to have a party.
I just want to have a party.
That's the main reason I had a wedding, was because it was just a big party.
I just want to like have a literal excuse and reason to have people that I love together and like dance and drink and eat.
And that's like
sounds so fun. Like
it was,
and your wedding was so fun.
It was
so fun.
That's
why I'm like, God, maybe I should just like skip the ceremony and just like get married somewhere random, like whatever, and then just like have a lit reception, like a party, like a celebration of love.
That's fine. I feel like whatever works for you, you know. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, why did we have this? Why did we have to have this ceremony in front of so many people? I mean, we didn't have like that huge of a wedding. We had like maybe 115 there, something around that. But a lot of like my parents' friends and people that I'm not that close with.
Because I was going to say, like, that may not seem like a lot, but like you have a pretty like small friend group. Like to me, now, 115 would be like, I don't even like know 115 people. I'd have to invite some of you guys.
A lot of those people were people my parents wanted there. Okay. Though. Like a good chunk of that was family and, you know, people like that I didn't know, or like people Josh had grown up with, families and stuff that I had never met.
Right.
But I think if we were to get married now, that number would drop to like 50, and we would much rather have something that's smaller with just the people that we are closer with around, make it a more intimate thing and focus it more on ourselves and the fun of it. Because that's one thing I noticed with the wedding is I was very focused on like everyone else's experience and not as focused on mine at the end of the day. And I was like a little stressed out.
Sure.
But then when the time really came, it was just fun. It was just so much love to be around all these people that care about Josh and I. And then once I was walking down the aisle and Josh was there, it just kind of like we went into our own worlds and none of that stuff really mattered. All the stuff I'd been stressing out for a year about was all kind of bullshit to me in those moments.
Sure.
And I was like, whatever. Like I remember I was so stressed out about, you remember how stressed out I was planning a whole wedding. I didn't have a wedding planner. So I did everything by myself. And my family was kind of going through some turmoil. So it was just a stressful day. Like my parents it was like one of the first times they were together after they had gotten divorced was my wedding.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was
stressful.
Like, it was just overwhelming as fuck. But I remember the photo booth didn't work. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get the photo booth to work. And I just did not give a shit. I was like, whatever.
I know you didn't. You're like, it's totally fine.
And I still tipped her. I was like, here you go. Here's your money anyway. Bye. Thanks so much for coming. Like I was just in such a great mood. So filled with love and good energy that anything could have happened and I still would have had a good day.
That's like the way you want to do it, right? Like that sounds so great to be like there for your like love at the end of the day and like whatever at the end of the day. And the other thing is like, I don't know about you because it was your wedding, but for me, your wedding flew by.
Oh,
dude.
It flew by for me too.
I was like, and I watched you like plan it and I was like, holy shit, like so much work goes. That's the other thing, guys, is like there is so much work going into planning a wedding. I'm like,
hours
damn,
every night.
I don't know if I got time for that right now or like if I want to necessarily do that right now. So
for a lot of people too. The more people, the more planning.
6 hours, like a 6-hour event at the end of the day.
It goes by so fast. And that's why like looking back, I would have rented a dress, not bought my dress. That's a huge thing I recommend to anyone is like, just rent your dress. Now, because mine has like spray tan on it and it's like in a
what are
bag.
you like realistically
what I'm gonna
do?
Frame it?
Yeah, frame it or like put it back on, do a little cosplay.
Make my daughter wear it. My mom wore her mother's dress and so she wanted me to wear it again for a third round and I was like, sorry, no, I'm getting a new one. But now honestly, I wish maybe I did that or I rented because I spent a lot in the dress for 6 hours in it. You're in the thing
in a dress, totally.
And then you're out of it as soon as the wedding ends, you're like want to get out of it immediately.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you never put it on again.
That's wild.
You should just like have it like redone, or you can go and like get it fixed and make it like maybe a cute little shorter dress. But if you do have a daughter, you can let her use pieces of it unless she wants to wear it.
That's true. I'll probably I will have it. It's in a hefty bag right now in the basement. So if she wants pieces of it, I'm sure we can cut some off. But I never got it like preserved. I know it was a beautiful dress and it was expensive. But I feel like there's a lot of things that I just didn't care about on the actual day that, and it does go by so fast. I think people play it up because it's like your wedding, but it's so quick. Like you talk to so many people, you barely have time to think and process anything and then it's over. Dude. And that's the thing is like, I would rather have it smaller and less going on. That's definitely my advice to both of you guys is like, keep it chiller so that you can enjoy it. Focus on yourself and your partner and make sure it's good for you guys. And then it'll be a good day.
I feel like a lot of what you had to do was like make sure you go to like all the tables and like catch up with everyone, thank them for coming. And then everyone of course wants to talk to you. And then, before you know it, you spent 2 hours talking to people, like making small talk with a million people. I mean, like no offense, but it's your wedding. You should be like with your like fucking partner, obviously. And then like your closest people there, like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like,
I spent a lot of time talking to people that I hadn't seen in years that I haven't seen since the wedding and that we were like catching up.
Right.
But and then I didn't get to spend a lot of time talking to people that I'm like really close with and my aunts and uncles. And I missed some of Josh's family members that had left early because they retired, like his grandparents, it's overwhelming. The whole thing is like, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, go small if you can. That's all I can say is like,
go small.
I would do it way differently now. Yeah. My priorities have changed a lot since then. That's for sure.
Would you change like any design or anything? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'd probably do it outside somewhere. We went for convenience. We did the hotel thing because we were so stressed out about everything with our families and my parents. So we were like, it'd be just nice if everyone can sleep there and like it'll be convenient. But I think I would have gone with more of a nature thing in the mountains. Probably that would have been a little more true to us. I would have focused more on what we wanted and not what it would have been best for the
Sure. Yeah. No,
So.
I feel that.
But
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick sponsor break and talk about Babbel. Guys, you know, here on the Sesh, we like to
Montenero fresco.
And if you don't speak Italian, that means keep it fresh. And we just learned that from Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app. One of our goals for the new year was to learn a new language, and Babbel has made this whole process addictively fun and easy with bite-sized lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. Kendall and I are deciding that we want to learn some Italian. Kendall has some Italian in her, and I just really love Italian food. So I decided, why not pick up a little Italian? And Babbel has made it so easy because they have 15-minute lessons that make it a perfect way to learn the new language, especially on the go. Unlike all those language classes that we took in high school, I mean, I took years of foreign language and I don't remember any of it, to be honest. Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversations in mind, things you'll get to use in everyday life. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts, and their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. So I just really love Babbel because it honestly makes it easy to learn a language. It's not intimidating. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can do it in small chunks and on your own time frame, and that's why I really love it. So start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for just the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code SESH. That's Babbel, Babbel.com, code SESH for an extra 3 months free. Babbel, language for life.
So we've talked about getting older and getting married.
Yes.
And we've talked a little bit about the pressures of society.
Correct.
But another big pressure, like I said, that a lot of people face is the pressure to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it can be some intense pressure just even being on the internet because we have had people asking Josh and I if we're going to have kids and when we're going to have kids and when we can expect babies for years. Like as soon as we got married, that was the big question. Every time we did a Q&A, that was a bunch of people asked that. It seems to be a big topic. People want to see a little Kendall or a little Josh running around here.
Which, side note, that's like really interesting, the whole idea of being fast, because the world is like fascinated with other people's pregnancies and having kids.
Yeah. It's like a total industry now, especially on YouTube and stuff.
And like, why are we so like pregnancy announcement videos and gender reveals?
Why are we so into that?
Why do we eat that shit up so much?
Weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
It is really strange. Like, I don't know. And I mean, we did an episode a few weeks ago, and the reason I brought this up is because so many of you guys thought that I was pregnant and straight up was like trying to give you guys subliminal messages that I was pregnant through the episode.
Spicy Sesh, she was like, I'm not drinking for medical reasons, and you guys are all like, is she pregnant?
Yeah, those medical reasons. I am currently being treated for reactivated Epstein-Barr virus. So I've been doing weekly medical treatments, and that's why we said it's frowned upon to drink during that. If I was pregnant, we would not be referring to drinking while pregnant as frowned upon.
Yeah, I don't personally believe that.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little more serious than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely not pregnant, but a lot of people commented, a lot of people.
And we were like,
I'm calling it now. Kendall's pregnant.
And that's like a really bold statement to make. You know, and I know like people are excited and people like, they love you and they love Josh and they like know that you do want to be a mom. You've made that clear.
Yes.
So I feel like they're, exciting, and that's like a natural thing. But I feel it's a little strange sometimes for how far we will go as far as like asking people if they're pregnant, when will they be pregnant, when can we expect kids?
Right.
Like it's a really personal and for a lot of women sensitive subject to talk about.
You've made that point to me a few times, like what if you were like, I don't get upset by it when people ask or assume like maybe I'm pregnant or wonder when I'm going to get pregnant or say things hoping that that doesn't bother me because I know it all comes from like a loving place.
Right.
But you did point out to me, like, what if right now you were trying to have a baby though? How would you feel if you were seeing all these comments saying you're pregnant and you're not?
You couldn't
and you
have
weren't
a baby.
able to, and like meanwhile you just had a negative pregnancy test and you're going through this hidden battle that no one knows about.
God forbid you miscarried.
Yeah.
And
you never know.
Like, where's the baby? We want babies. And like, we get it.
That's
like,
stressful.
of course, like people are excited for babies. And like, of course you guys are all like coming from a good place. I don't want you to like think that I'm like you know, saying whatever, but it is interesting, like just society in general. I feel like we're really quick to be like, hey, are you pregnant? Like, are you trying? You should try. And that's such a personal thing because so many women go through struggles getting pregnant or keeping a pregnancy, or
maybe you just don't want to have a baby or you're not ready yet.
Don't want to have a baby.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can realize that maybe asking that doesn't make a lot of sense going forward, even if you have before. You know, it's okay to like pause and think, oh, maybe that isn't the best thing to say to people. And I mean, like, even though I personally didn't get offended because Josh and I haven't been trying. I think a lot of people thought that we have because we got married for a long time ago. Right. And I think people thought we were going to have babies right after that. And I know a lot of people know that I have all these health issues. I have PCOS. So maybe I totally could have been having fertility issues this whole time. Right. And I haven't been trying to have a baby yet. I want to eventually, but you know, that could be very upsetting. I think it is good to be aware of what a sensitive subject that can be for people. And to assume, even though you get excited and of course you want like your favorite vlog family to have a baby, because there's got to be women out there that are dealing with that exact scenario, that they are influencers or they're like, even just people that don't have a following, that just have people like in their lives constantly asking them and pressuring them, and they're like,
your neighbor for all you know, and who's severely struggling with infertility. I mean, you have no idea what they're going through in real life.
Oh, it's such a good point. It really is.
So yeah, I don't know.
But I'm not pregnant.
No. Sorry guys, bummer.
Definitely not. I'm on that time of the month right now, actually. So definitely not pregnant.
Yep, not yet.
But I'm thinking about it.
I was gonna say you got
it's on my radar.
It's on your radar.
Yeah, I'll open up a little bit about this. Josh and I are definitely thinking about having kids in the next couple of years. You know, I am turning 28, and so I'm kind of thinking that's right around that. My mom had me at 30, and Josh's mom had him at 30. So we thought it'd be kind of cool if we had a baby at 30. But I have no idea, you know, what that'll look like for me. I do have some health issues. I don't know if it'll be an easy process, if it will take us years, but we're not even at the point of trying it. So I really have had no experience.
That's a really good topic of like, you don't know if it'll take you years or not. Cause that's the other thing that trips me out. Cause it's like you try and be like, oh, it would be nice to like have a baby at this age. But then it's like, how do we know how long we need to try for? Cause some women like my mom and my dad, they were like, okay, you know what? We'll like get off birth control and we'll just like see what happens, but we're not gonna like try and force it. But if we get pregnant, great. Yeah. Boom, pregnant immediately with me. Yeah. Like, but then and so I'm like, how do you know if you like need to start trying now because it takes 3 years for you to get pregnant or something, and then you're like, or what if you get pregnant right away and you're like, damn, I could have waited like another year or something. Like
it took. My mom always tells me they tried for about 6 years. And they had several miscarriages. My mom also has PCOS and a lot of health issues. And she also had an ectopic pregnancy. And getting pregnant with me finally was like a miracle for her. So then I look at that and I'm like, if I have a similar experience to her, she started a lot younger than I did. She got pregnant at 30, but you know, what if I like wait too long? It's like this whole weird, I think so many women can relate to this conversation of like, when am I supposed to do this? Am I ready now? Right. Because I feel like part of me is really scared to have kids because it's gonna make changes for me and Josh. We can't just do whatever the fuck we want anymore, right? Right. We can't stay up. Like last night, I took a nap at like 6 p.m. and woke up at like 9, and then I was up till like 4 in the morning. You can't do that. Yeah. Well, I guess you can, but it's not going to be by your choice. You're going to be sleeping based on when your baby can sleep, you know, whenever you can. Right now I just do kind of whatever I want. Like I'm in like the ultimate freedom right now, that stage before like I'm not in my parents' house, so I can do whatever I want, but I like don't really have any responsibilities other than my pets, and they're not judging me. They're like, whatever, mom.
I love being able to be in like this, call it for what it is, selfish stage. Like I love being able to do whatever the fuck. I love being able to do whatever, whenever, and not having to like report to someone or worry about, you know, someone needing me for this or getting back to someone of this. Like it's great to have that freedom. And obviously that goes away with kids. And so a part of me is like, God, I'm not gonna lie, like I love sleep so much, and sometimes I'm like, damn, what if, you know, like they're obviously like, you're not, people say you don't sleep when you have kids, especially when you have babies. You don't sleep. And Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I get worried. I'm like, gosh, will my life, like, what if, because like I'm already always tired and I already deal with chronic fatigue. And so I'm like, will I be able to take care of my kid when I'm like, you run off of no sleep? I guess you figure out a way to do it, but that sounds really scary, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it does. And that's honestly part of the reason why I haven't had kids yet, or Josh and I haven't started trying, is because I've had all these health issues and I have chronic fatigue and I have chronic pain. And I'm like, Josh has brought up so many times, like, how would we do this? Like, you would be too exhausted. You'd be physically unable to hold your baby at some times.
Right. Because like right now you're able to like go lay down and take a nap, but like you can't just do that when your kid's like up and out. It's like,
right.
God, it's.
Yeah. And I think lately the fact that I've been getting these treatments and I'm feeling a lot better lately. And I'm, getting to just so much of a better place mentally too, that it's starting to become a more
like realistic,
reasonable reality to me.
Sure.
But I feel like I can get there and I feel less scared of it.
Right.
Like the fear of parenting is starting to like slowly dissipate for me. And I'm getting like more mentally there.
Like it's not like scary of like
changing our lives. Like
I'm
kind of ready. Like we've had a lot of time to just do whatever we want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's been really nice. And I mean, I don't know how much longer it will be. Like we could have a baby right away. It could be another 5 years. I have no idea.
God, that's what's so stressful is like,
yeah, it is stressful.
Because then I'm like, what if it takes, in my head of anxiety, I'm like trying to plan it. I'm like, okay, so I'm 26. What if I like want to theoretically pop out a kid by like age 30 would be nice. Okay, so what if I try at 29, but then what if it takes me 3 years? Oh my God, then I should need to start trying at age 27 then, because if it takes me 3 years, like I have no idea.
That's why I've thought about that too. I've been like, should I already start trying? Should I be like looking at my cycle and figuring all that out? And I don't know. I'm not quite there, but I feel like I'm about to be there. And Josh and I seem to be at the exact same point.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is weird. It is really weird thinking about all the things that will change. Right. But it's also so exciting. And I mean, for me, there's way more excitement than there is fear, because I've wanted to be a mom since I was born. Yes. Like as soon as I was born, you guys, like, you don't understand. I was obsessed with babies and the idea of having babies.
She watched like live, like TV, like on video births.
I was obsessed with birth for a while. And my mom is a really open mother. Like she is just like, she's not weird about anything. So as soon as I expressed interest in the way babies were born, she's like, you want to go to the library and like get some videos? And I was like, yeah. So we like literally went to the local library and we got like The Miracle of Life. And we got like a couple videos, and we would watch a bunch of like that TLC. Like there were tons of different baby birthing shows, and I loved them. I would like watch hours and hours of these baby birthing marathons. I would watch like full frontal, like baby coming out.
I saw that literally for the first time in high school and almost passed. I was like, oh my God, that looks so painful.
I was like, seriously, 8 years old watching this, like, wow, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to have a baby.
See, that's great. That's like so interesting, because this is like, we're so different in that sense of like, you have always had that like maternal,
I have like
drive in you. Like you.
Who was the mom when we'd play house?
Always Kendall.
Always me.
And I was like the bratty teen that didn't want to like listen. Wow. Imagine that, a Leo not wanting to listen.
And then we'd always have a baby doll that was like the young baby.
Yeah, the young baby, or like your sister or something. We would like, but
we'd make a pillow the husband.
Yeah.
But I was always the mom.
You were always the mom.
And I used to tell my mom, I want like 100 babies. I want a ton of kids. And I could honestly see myself having like 4 kids. Like who knows? I'm kind of going to play it by ear. Like I'm going to definitely have at least 2, see how it goes, see if I like it. What if they're awful? I'm like, never again.
Well, I'm sure there's tons of people who are like, I want 4 kids, and they have 2 kids. And they're like, never mind. I'm sure they're not the first that would think that. But
knowing me and Josh, and knowing how into parenting
and your hoarding problems you have.
Oh, stop. We're not like hoarders.
No, but you have like an obsession with collecting things. You like a lot of things.
What other things do I collect other than animals?
Rocks, plants.
That's true. Rocks and plants.
Weed. Tea.
But I don't really collect that because I go through it pretty fast.
Skincare, candles,
makeup.
Or you think I'm just gonna collect children? Oh, I did collect makeup for a while. Yeah, it was totally a collecting thing. No, you're right. I do like collecting. I like collections. So maybe I'll collect kids. That'll be my next collection.
You just become like 19 kids and counting. You better get your shit started now. You just pump out kids forever.
Dude, that's some shit.
I feel like you and Josh, though, you guys manage chaos. Like you guys almost thrive.
We do.
With chaos.
We both talk about that all the time. We feel more comfortable like this. We love having 10 pets. Like, I think people think we're fucking nuts. And I know that people look at us and think we're fucking nuts, but I don't care. Like, we love, we wouldn't change anything about it. And I could see us loving parenting and popping out like 5-6 kids. Who knows?
She just first you
like,
said,
oh God, please don't.
First you said 4, now you're saying 5, 6.
Well, with us having 10 pets, you never know. And me and Josh, we're crazy. We like to collect, like you said.
Who actually have kids versus pets are laughing at you. Like, well,
No,
I
I'm
have
just
10
kidding.
pets, might as well have 10 kids.
I'm just kidding. Realistically, we've talked a lot about this, and we really want 2, maybe a third, depending on how the first 2 go.
Sure. Yeah. No,
but we just can't wait to be parents. I am so excited to like get this little human. It makes me shake even talking about it. I'm so excited. You have no idea. The idea of because to me, it's a whole spiritual thing. So this is kind of a different view than most people have. But to me, the idea that this soul could like pick me as a parent and want to be raised by me and Josh, and I can like just let them thrive, and I can just be there with whatever comes along. Like the excitement of they could be anything just makes me so happy to think that they could be into anything. Maybe they'll be into some hobby that I know nothing about. Like maybe my kid will be really into violin or like karate, and I'll learn a whole new, like who knows the adventures that lie ahead.
It's so true.
And I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited to watch my kids like go to the beach for the first time and touch grass for the first time and
experience things that you love and like show them things that like you did as kids, like the Christmas shit.
Yes,
that I'm excited for, you guys.
The traditions. Oh, like, I'm all about it. Oh, Josh and I love it. We're like, okay, so what will Christmas morning look like in our house? We've talked about that for years.
Like the feeling of like, you know, like us growing up so close together, like we were always like, it was like always big family get-togethers, and like I thrive so much off that feeling of like even now, like, you know, Christmas Eve at my dad's house, we're all together. It's like the best feeling in the world.
That this year.
And, yes, and I feel like, but a part of me like feels like a little bit of it is lost because I'm not a kid. Like,
and we have no kids around.
And we have no kids around. I feel like it'll be really fun to when like we have kids and they're off together and we're like having our cocktail hour upstairs, like our parents did while they like played, and like I feel like it'll be cool to like see that all unfold from like a different perspective, almost like reliving that in a sense in a different lens.
Yes. And I think about all the time, like this, I mean, who knows if this will happen, right? This would be like some good luck, but I just hope that there will be one of Janelle's children and one of my children that are around the same age so that they can have the cousin bond that we did. And that's like my biggest like dream. It.
Oh my God.
Even if it's like your youngest and my youngest, your oldest. Yeah. Because we're going to be off a few years. I know you and John probably won't have kids around the time that I do. But
no, probably. But it'd be cool to be like overlapping at some point.
Yeah. Seeing them. Yeah, I mean, I love thinking about Christmas, Halloween, like all of that. And of course, those are just all the little fun things that come with it. And we're not thinking about all of the hard work.
Of course,
the stressful moments, the times where you just want to rip your hair out.
Right. The times where your kid's like breaking your heart, but you don't know how to like fix them because you can't like, they're their own person at the end of the day. And like, you can't like control them. And like, how do you maneuver that? Like how do you, you know, make sure that you're strict enough and involved enough, but then not too involved to where they just want to rebel and like keep secrets from you. Like it seems, it all seems so fucking hard and honestly intimidating. Like, and I don't want to screw it up.
I think because that's like the fear every parent has. You don't want to like fuck up your kids in any way.
Especially because I'm like, God, I made the choice to bring you into this life. Then it's like, you didn't choose to be born, so like I gotta make sure you're not like I don't want you to get like I don't want to screw you up at all. Give them the
best possible life that you can, and you can only do so much. There's only so much you can protect your kids from, and I think learning how to like to let them have experiences is going to be hard. Yeah, I know I'm going to have issues with that. Just kind of letting them figure things out. Like I'm going to want to just protect them from everything and prevent anything bad from ever happening to them. But you know. Yeah, I mean, parenting's going to be a journey, and it feels like a little bit overwhelming sitting on the edge of this journey. I feel like I'm like sitting at the on a diving board, like waiting to dive in, like, and I'm just like, when is this going to start? Yeah, like I'm looking at this pool of like the next 30 years of my life,
your life
and how different it's going to be.
Forever. That's the other thing is like, it's so permanent. Like,
oh yeah.
Christy was talking about it. So
Raw Beauty Christy.
Yeah, she was talking about it on
Just
her
had
channel about
beautiful son Alder.
Oh my God. So
we love him.
Sweet. Anyways, she was saying how it's trippy that before she had her son, she was talking about in her video how she's like, it's weird that he's going to like come into our lives and then we just bring him home and then he's there.
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
never
just,
gonna
and all of
leave.
a sudden he's just like, now she's like, it was me and Zach. Now it's me, Zach, and this baby. It's like, he's there forever. He like doesn't
forever.
leave. He doesn't stay in the guest room. Like he's just a part of and then you just like continue your life.
He's 18.
Right. But
Hopefully.
yeah,
Hopefully they don't
exactly.
leave earlier than that.
Well, you know,
but yeah,
theoretically, like that's what
it's
happens.
like you can't just hand like when I see a baby now, I can like play with someone's baby and then hand it back to the mom.
Right.
And that's
And
it.
when you get tired, like, you know, nanning's great or whatever because it's like cute to play with
Right.
babies. But then it's
I
like
loved nanny.
around 5 or 6 o'clock when the kids are cranky and they need bath and go to bed. You're like, okay, bye. And you
Yeah.
like leave and you go live your life and like you do whatever you want and stuff. So
Yeah.
or like I'm sure, you know, younger people who have younger siblings or younger nieces and nephews. Like we don't have any of like we're not around kids
we're not.
at all.
No,
So
we really aren't.
you know, we don't have like any
I
exposure.
don't really have
to
many
that.
friends who have. I have like one friend from high school that I just saw recently who just had a baby. But
There's like
not many of my friends
few
have
girls
had babies.
from our sororities that have babies.
I'm going to be
I
the
know.
first one probably in our group of friends, I bet.
Yeah,
to have a
probably.
baby.
Yeah.
And my kid's going to be so spoiled by all of you. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so cute.
It will.
And Bernie's looking at me right now. He's like, "Don't even talk about kids."
Do you and John like? Are you guys even talking about that? I mean, that's so far off. I guess you guys are like, we got to do some other things first.
Yeah, we want like we talk about it sometimes. Like we talk about it more than we did, obviously, but it's definitely not like necessarily because it's it's crazy when I first met John in high school and stuff. I would ask him like, "Do you want kids?" Like just out of curiosity. I didn't really necessarily think that I'd be having kids with him, but back then he was like, "I want to have kids young." Like I picture myself being a young dad. And the other day we were talking about that, and I was like, "John, remember how you would say like you want to be a young dad?" And he started like kind of laughing. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I remember at that age thinking I would definitely have kids by like 25, 26. I'm like, "Well,
too.
you are 26. And he was like, "I couldn't." He's like, "There's no way I could have a kid right now." Like, he's like, "I could do it, but it would not be ideal." And it was just interesting to think about like our plan that we have in our lives. And, at that point when you're only like 16, 26 seems like so much older.
So far away.
But now it's like,
I know.
oh my God.
I know. I definitely thought I'd have kids by like 25. I did not think I would still not have kids now.
And because in your
I'd
mind,
probably keep going
that
if I
seems
had more
old, but then
biological time, but
I feel like, yeah, totally. If we could
right?
like,
I'd max it out a little longer.
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
35. But then I feel like, who knows what could happen?
Right.
And I'm cutting it too close.
Mhm.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is. It is a lot of pressure, but we do want to talk about our last sponsor, which is Modern Fertility, because they may relieve some of that pressure and anxiety.
Yes. Now, when it comes to making decisions about family planning, knowledge is power. And when you know more, you can make better decisions for your body, for your health, and for your future. And there aren't many decisions that are bigger than having your family. But for many women, their fertility is a big question mark, and I definitely feel that way. But that's why Modern Fertility was created. It's the easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. All you do is mail it in with a prepaid label, and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days. Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but Modern Fertility only costs $159 to get the same information. And if you go to modernfertility.com/sesh, you can get $20 off of your test. Also, if you have HSA or FSA, you can use those dollars on Modern Fertility. You'll get insight on how many eggs you have, hormone levels, and other important fertility factors. And the results go deep into what every hormone means. And the great thing is you can talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and your options for next steps. If you want kids today or maybe one day in the future, this is clinically sound info that can help you make the decision that's best for you. I'm actually going to be doing my Modern Fertility test tomorrow, and I'm very excited to get my results back. And right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off your test when you go to modernfertility.com/sesh. That means that your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands that it could cost at your doctor's office. So get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/sesh. That's modernfertility.com/sesh. I'm actually really excited to take that modern fertility test. I'm going to take it tomorrow. You're supposed to take it on the 3rd day of your period. So I'm curious to see what the results will be.
I think it's honestly really cool that we're like normalizing women's health and hygiene and just like actually there's like, you know, so many companies that are like helping women like understand their bodies more and just, you know,
making it easier,
making it more accessible, making it not such a taboo subject. I feel like so many people are just taught to like not talk about it unless you're like with their doctor. And it's like, like everyone who's on this earth was born through a vagina. So like, why are we
such
so
a
weird
taboo subject?
Why is it so weird to talk about?
I agree. And I think it's cool that there's all these services now that you can do from home. Like just in general.
Oh yeah.
You know, for men and women.
Oh yeah.
That you don't have to, because so many people don't trust doctors, unfortunately. Like I've had some bad experiences myself where I don't want to go to the doctor because I don't trust them, to be honest.
Well,
you know?
also like it's accessibility is like not everyone like has the time, has access to a doctor that they trust, has the access that they trust. A lot of people, you know, I feel like insurance unfortunately doesn't cover a lot of what we need, and so there's like a lot of these services
it's such a scam.
It's such a scam.
Such a fucking scam.
It is such a scam. But I feel like that's why it's cool, because all these, you know, different like at home it's like almost like self-serve kind of.
Yeah, that's what I did for my EBV test. I literally ordered it myself. Really? And yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
well, it didn't come to my house. I had to get it through a lab, but yeah, we didn't go through a doctor. You know, we just
okay. That's wild. That basically you had to come up with the test in order to fucking get a diagnosis.
Yeah, I'm curious if you guys want us to do an episode talking about it. I don't know if people are interested enough, but so many people have asked me to explain all of this and like my health issues, because I've like vaguely talked about it here and there, but I've never like completely explained what it is and the treatments that I'm getting and my experience with the medical field.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a really good episode, because I think a lot of people can relate to the fact of having bad experiences in the medical field, or feeling like you're, you know, told, oh, you're just stressed, it's just in your head or whatever. And then you go back home and you're like, is it? Like, am I just pathetic? Like, no. I'm confused.
So many people are dealing with invisible illness and not being taken seriously and feel so stressed out. And that's why I say I'd be happy to do an episode like that, because I know I could have really used it like a year or two ago when it was just so bad. And I felt so down on myself mentally, not knowing what the fuck was going on and thinking maybe this is my fault, or I'm just stressed, or maybe I'm just a weak person. And,
exactly.
You know, all types of stuff. But
yeah, no, I know. It is, and it's again like taboo, but I feel like the more we can like open up and like normalize it, then, you know, the more I hope it'll, you know, open doors for accessibility for, you know, things and types of alternative treatments and alternative diagnosis and like this, because I mean, you have had a really not just up until getting diagnosed, but an interesting experience, you know, from your treatments point of view, and like you've done some really like
kind of controversial
exactly
stuff.
Like ketamine, very controversial.
Some people don't understand at all what I'm talking about with that.
So
I'd be fine with opening up about it. I think it needs to be destigmatized.
I agree.
And that's what we want this show to be all about, is being really open. This is a safe place where we can share information without being judged.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're judged by some of you.
But that's okay. That's what we ask for when we go on the internet. I mean, we can't. I mean, that's kind of so like, you're asking for it. If you're like, especially because we got opinions too. I mean, hello, we have a fucking spicy section for our podcast. So we're all right. We can handle the feedback.
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
a
lot of you guys are so awesome. I just want to have a side note on that. Like the comments last episode were so great about the Mandela effect and everything, and like the spicy topics you guys, or the spicy episode of all the like truth or spice. That was really fun. We want to do another episode of that again. So
for the Mandela thing, I just have to say before we go on, there was like 5 that I wanted to take and like re-talk about, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, just say this.
Okay.
The Hunger Games thing has been a big topic of discussion.
Oh yeah.
Did that beginning scene happen or not?
I don't know, because I never saw it, but apparently there was like a parody or something of it.
Oh, there was a parody?
Yeah, people said that there was it was called the It wasn't called the Hunger Games. It was like something, I don't even remember what it's called. Some like parody though. And I guess that scene that you guys were talking about does happen.
But have you seen a parody, Sydney? And then a bunch of people were like, maybe you guys, because that's what happens in the books. Okay, so to clarify, if you didn't catch the last episode, basically we're talking about in the Hunger Games, we thought that there was a scene where some of them step off the podium a little too early, and one of them like blows up because of that. And apparently this is a Mandela effect. It's not actually in the movies, but we both feel like we have seen the scene. A lot of people feel like they have seen the scene.
Of comments
and people were commenting, you know, maybe you guys read that part and your brains just visualized it while you were reading. And I was thinking maybe that could be it, because Josh actually read me those books in college. I mean, it's totally possible. I was like sitting there visualizing what he was reading to me, but you didn't read the books, right? So how would you have known about that?
No, I didn't read the books.
And did you see a parody ever?
No.
I don't remember a Hunger Games parody.
Yeah, I saw a few comments on it. Fuck, I can't remember what it was called. It was funny. The name was like a play on the term Hunger Games, but yeah, I don't know. I was shocked. Okay, the thing I was shocked about was how many people had the same experience, the Fruit Loops, as us. They were like, dude, I remember being wrong. And then all of a sudden now I've been right this whole time.
And I think I was confused, or like my past self was confused, because apparently I thought it was fruit before. Someone was telling me I did think that. And now I'm like all confused about what I thought. My whole life is a lie now.
But what if the only reason it's like that is because you're in a different universe. So obviously your video like changed to make it like fit this timeline type of thing.
Whoa, I don't know.
Tons of people talked about learning about Nelson Mandela dying in prison back when they were like in high school.
Yeah,
so many people remember that.
Yeah, and to clarify, I didn't mean Gandhi died in prison. I was trying to compare that he was in prison. Yeah. Maybe that was what they were confused with. But yeah, that whole episode was just interesting to see all the feedback. Mm-hmm. So many of you guys were like agreed with us, except for the chartreuse thing. I feel like most people were like, no, that was green.
Idiots. It's green. They're like, hasn't it always been yellow green? Like, oh, has it? Oops. I don't know my colors.
But that was definitely a fun episode. So let us know if there's any topics like that you guys want to see us look into, like some trippy phenomena or something that maybe we have already done a Mile Higher that you want us to look into a little bit more, or something that we would handle better.
Yeah, exactly. Like not as quite like heavy as Mile Higher, more things that we can like, have fun with.
There's some conspiracies I want to do.
Yes.
Like the birds aren't real conspiracy.
Birds aren't real.
Comment below if you want the birds aren't real. The bourgeoisie. Have you heard of this?
Bourgeoisie. Oh, I know. I know the birds aren't real. Yeah, they're all robots, and
it's very interesting stuff. I love it. We can look into it, guys. It could be fun times.
Yeah, let us know what type of like other stuff you'd like to see from us, and we will be sure to keep it in mind.
But next week we will be off.
Oh yes,
just to let you guys know, I am getting veneers put on. And apparently you can talk really strange after that. So it's probably not great for me to do a podcast the day after I get veneers.
I feel like you're going to have like hella trouble talking. And
I already do with my actual teeth. So it might be hard.
Yeah. But so we're just going to take a little week break, but we'll be back.
Yes, we will.
And yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming. And hopefully we'll get some guests one of these days. We always talk about it, but maybe... She's looking at me like, no, shut up.
Like, well, the pandemic is still raging, so probably not.
A girl can dream. Yeah, Sydney's like me.
Oh, yeah, Sydney. Guys, let us know if you guys want a little interview with Sydney.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe we'll like actually, she can like sit with us and we can
be our first guest.
Yeah, be our first. Sydney's our guest. Hi, here's our camera girl, Sid. Oh my God. All right, guys.
That's it for us this week, you guys. We will see you the week after next.
Yeah.
But until then,
keep it fresh.
Sorry, I kind of left you hanging on that.